Keeping up with the Joneses is keeping so many people broke. I have been so guilty of it over the years, but I have learned a lot of different lessons with trying to keep up with people that don't really exist. And so today we're going to have a conversation all about it. So, one of the things that I have experienced over the years, just like not just as a business owner, but as a person in life in general, is that, you see people with these things, having these experiences and all this stuff, and you have this like, jealousy is the best word to probably say it, where you're like, I want to do that, I want to have that, I want to be that. And so you find yourself doing all these different things in order to have it or look it. And oftentimes it doesn't really make us feel any better. We just find ourselves like spending this big amount of money on a thing, and then we're just like, now we're out of that money. And then sometimes like months later, we're like, we're not even participating in that thing, or we don't even remember it, we didn't really love it, or it's just something that is in the back of our closet, like a purse or something like that. And what I have learned is that, that phrase that is keeping up with the Joneses. And, I remember a couple years ago, I was like, well, who are the Joneses? Because somebody was talking about them online or something. And they were like, it's not really even a person. It was something in like a TV series, a movie or something like that. And then it just became this thing over all these different years. And so a lot of us are doing these different things to keep up with the Joneses. But the thing about it is that the people or whomever we're trying to keep up with don't know we exist, are dealing with whatever it is that they're dealing with. And then now we are dealing with what we are dealing with because we try to do a thing. So let's talk a little more about that. So when I think about that as a business, because, obviously I teach people how to strategically build businesses. When I think about that, let's just say here in 2023, when you're looking online. So right now, nobody's really talking about Tulum online, but for like a couple of years, everybody was talking about Tulum, right? And so, but what people I feel like they're talking about now is maybe some purses or maybe being in LA or being on TV or whatever, or maybe because my feed is not full of that stuff. I know that there are, let's say the Beyonce concert, that's a big one, or being in like, but not just being at the concert, but being like floor level, best level, paying the highest amount. Or Taylor Swift concert, you're like, you've got the best tickets and it costs you so much money. I have seen videos on TikTok about that where people are like, I can't afford it, I'm gonna do it. I can't afford it, I'm gonna do it. And you have to like ask yourself this question of like, why do you feel such pressure to do it, right? Like what is going on that you feel this like pressure to do it? And when I look at myself, I remember a few years back when I had gotten into network marketing for the second time, and I was making good money in network marketing, but the people that I were around, they were extremely flashy. All these purses and jewelry and shoes and hair and clothes and plastic surgery. I mean, it was just all this stuff. Like they came, just it was a lot, and it was in your face all the time. Not just on social media, but when you were at events, you just felt so much pressure to just be and do all those things. And I remember finding myself like having this like the need to go do all that stuff. Like I remember I bought this pair of shoes, and they weren't even really cute shoes, like really, really cute shoes, but I bought them because they were fancy and they actually hurt my feet. And then I remember going to the different events, and I didn't really have like a designer bag or anything because I had used to, but somebody had broken into my house, stole a bunch of stuff, crazy. And I had this pressure to have like a really nice bag. And I had always wanted to have a Kate Spade bag, like always. And I went to like Nordstrom Rack, saw this purse, and it was $300. Normally I would not spend $300 on a purse, but I felt this pressure to perform, right? But then what also started to happen was I found myself like wanting to just have all these clothes and just like always, every time I went somewhere, always having these clothes. And I looked back at social media a couple days ago and I was just like, where is that skirt? Where is that jacket that I had that I bought back then to impress people who really didn't care much about me? They didn't really know me. And it was because I was trying to keep up with them. and they had a lot more money than I did, and but for whatever reason, I allowed their lifestyle or whatever to cause me to where I chose to buy all these different things or whatever. And I'm in this phase now. Well, no, when I first moved to San Diego, I felt this pressure. I was attending a church, and the church was in I guess, an affluent area or whatever. And I just felt this pressure to just keep up, even though I had nice things, whatever. I just felt this thing that I always had to be whatever I felt. And after a while, I was just like, I really don't like me like that. I don't like that version of me that I feel like I've had to be all this stuff and spending all this money versus saving and investing. You know what I mean? I just did not like that version of myself. And I had to look at my own self and not look at other people. And the issue was with me, my feeling like I needed to keep up with people or have this appearance of success or whatever. And the truth was that it was hurting me, not just spending a lot of money, but it was hurting my opinion of myself or just loving myself as is. And so when I am, talking to people and talking to you, I have this thoughts and feelings to myself where I am just like, we have got to become very real and honest with ourselves about why it is we're doing the things that we're doing. Why do we want the things that we want? I've asked myself this question a bunch of times, like, do I have to be a multi-millionaire? Right? Do I have to be that? And my answer is no. I don't have to be a multimillionaire. And I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do? I need to have money to live today and also in retirement. Like that's what I need to do. I don't have to leave a bunch of money to anybody. I need to I need to be able to be 65 years old and not have to work. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay, so I have to look at everything that I'm doing with that lens, not with the lens that I want to be rich and famous and yada, yada, yada. But that's something that I had to ask myself and come to the conclusion of, because otherwise I would keep going after whatever it is that I think I'm supposed to go after. I would keep trying to go to this vacation spot or have this house or have this car or whatever. I remember, I think it was like a couple years ago, somebody asked me, because I drive what's my Honda, 2014 Honda Civic. It was brand new when I bought it. Right now it has like 88,000 miles on it because, I work from home, so I don't drive a whole lot. And my car doesn't have any problems. And someone said, are you going to buy a new car? You should get a new car. You should get a Tesla or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't have any car payment. My car's paid off. And they were like, you're not going to get a new car? And I'm like, no. Why? Because I'm like, my car is paid off. Why would I get a brand new car, pay new car insurance, new car? Like, why? I don't need it right now. But I remember when I first moved into that apartment complex, I felt pressure to get a new car because there were so many fancy cars around me. Oh my God. But I was just like, Keenya, you don't have this car bill. You don't have it, And that feels really good to not have it. But there's these moments where I feel like everybody else, the pressure to have, to be, to whatever, right? And today I just wanted to talk up to you about the fact of, it is really important for you to ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want what it is that you want? Why all these different things? And if you come to the conclusion that it's just something that you really want, great, go after it, right? But if you want it because you've never had it, or you never thought that you could have it, or because other people have it, or because of how it will make you look, or you think of how it's going to make you feel, then I really want you to evaluate that. Okay, I really want you to evaluate that, because these things that feel like this over here may not actually be true in reality, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I do want an electric car. I do want to stop paying for gas, right? But I don't need it right now. Like, I barely drive. Like, I don't need it right now. I don't need to buy a house right now. I don't, and I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I've seen these purses and shoes and all this stuff, and I'm like, Ooh, and I'm like, I don't really need that right now. Like, right, like today, like I'm filming this, and later on today, I'm going shopping to buy some new shirts because I've been looking around my closet, and I'm like, oh, like I need some shirts, like some regular shirts because all I have is like dress shirts, and I'm like, all right, we can go today and go get us some shirts, but don't go and get all this other stuff that I don't need to impress other people or whatever. You know what I mean? So if you are trying or have been trying to keep up with the Joneses, I want you to stop. Okay, I want you to stop, and I want you to look at where you are in your life, where you want to be going, what you need to be doing with your money so that to help you get to where it is you're trying to get to, and think about your retirement because one of these days you're not going to want to be working. And the only way to make sure that you're not working is what you are doing today that is going to continue to pay you to where you're not going to have to work. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.